I know a lot of you guys are having some trouble with Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I understand it's a rough game, it's very slow, very campy, and it's tons of safe spaces everywhere. But if you actually did not know yet, Ramazan and Gunrunner have both been added into the 10v10 rotation. So if you wanted to, you can go and check that out, because if you want my personal opinion on it, this is probably the most fun you will ever get out of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I can promise you this, seriously. Because if you're not a big fan of Ground War and the 10v10 maps, the original 10v10 maps, like the bridge map and a couple of the other maps as well, whatever their names are, I can't remember them off the top of my head. If you don't enjoy those styles of maps or gameplay, I think this is what you're craving. Because I actually saw a tweet a while ago, which nailed it. It absolutely nailed it. The 6v6 maps are basically maps that were designed for 10v10 in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And the 10v10 maps are practically designed for 20 vs 20 gameplay. Seriously, think about it. The gameplay is so much more active, so much more fast-paced. Players are actually deciding to do more, and even if you don't want to move, even if you are in your safe space, there's still a lot more enemies to pick off. This game was kind of designed around positioning. Positioning is definitely key in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, especially when you're playing the larger maps like 10v10. If you set up in a specific building, like some of the larger scaled buildings near the spawns, you can successfully hold people off from their spawn to the B flag easily by sitting in what you would think would be their spawn. But since the spawns are so big and the 10v10 maps go back so far for just 10 people on one team, you can kind of just camp the building and hold them off in their spawn, and they will continuously spawn back there. And honestly, it's not really considered camping, if we're going to be honest here, because you are successfully holding off the B flag. Your goal is to defend B. You're supposed to win the match, and you're successfully doing so by holding people off from not being able to get to B. It's just how the game was designed. But in 6v6, the game is still designed like that, but it is a very slow-paced game. If you try to set up in a position, you will never see anybody, which kind of encourages you to move around. And then when you move around, you run into someone who has more patience, I guess you could say, or someone who's camping harder or doesn't want to move, and then they gun you out instead. Then, of course, you get the random situations where someone just flies around the corner and two-taps you when you're already pre-aimed at them. Trust me, the game is broken in general. It's completely, utterly broken. They refuse to fix it still. They want to fix all the tiny bugs before they actually fix the main issues, the core issues of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. But regardless, this is a step in the right direction. Because now when you engage in these style of gunfights, when you start holding down the right positions, like let's say you are at construction on Ramazan. I keep forgetting the names of these maps. I don't know why I can't remember the names of Modern Warfare maps. It just doesn't really stick with me too much. But let's say you're at the construction site. Now you can successfully hold down B. You know, in the past when you're just playing 6v6 on this map and you're trying to defend B, nobody would show up. Nobody would push B, or nobody would push anywhere close to B, so you would end up pushing too far into their spawn where they're camping, and then they gun you out. No. Now in 10v10 on these 6v6 maps, you can hold down B, and you'll see a lot more action. You'll see a lot more people posting up in other safe spaces, quote-unquote safe spaces, and then you actually have more gunfights, where it's actually you and like 4 other people in this one position having an actual fight with 4 to other 5 people on the other position. You're actually having a good battle there. No longer is it you, just you, nobody else in that one position, waiting for people with no action, no teammates around you doing the same thing, no enemies around you, no enemies going to the line of sight that you're looking at, just you camping in one spot to where you get so bored that you just don't even want to play anymore, or you push and get killed. You know, it actually adds a nice vibe to these maps. Honestly, I pray to God, Infinity Ward, please do not take these maps out of the 10v10 rotation. They are perfect. Like, seriously, put Piccadilly in there. I guarantee people will actually like that map more if it was 10 versus 10 instead of 6v6. But this really reminds me of the original Call of Duty 4 vibes. Like, On Call of Duty 4 on PC, I don't know if console has anything like this, but on PC, a lot of the lobbies are custom, and a lot of the lobbies are like straight ground wars, like 10v10, 12v12, and not on custom maps that were designed for maps like that. You know, they were the original 6v6 maps that just got, you know, modded to hold more players in the actual lobby. And they were awesome. They were so much fun. Now, of course, on some of those old maps in Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, it wasn't something I wanted to do all the time, but it was a fun little treat to be able to play 10v10 on those small-scaled maps. But in Modern Warfare, that gives me the same vibe, especially when I'm playing a map like Gunrunner. The 10v10 is there, it's hectic. Can you imagine if they actually pulled Hackney Yard into the rotation like this? Can you imagine Hackney Yard? Probably one of the better 6v6 maps with the better flows out of all the 6v6 maps that they made for Modern Warfare. But could you imagine Hackney Yard with 10 versus 10? The flow would actually be really fun, and there would be tons of action going on everywhere. Whether you go to the warehouse or you go to the other building on the opposite side of the warehouse, whatever space that you decide to declare and try to hold down, there's going to be tons of action constantly going around it. It's going to be so much fun. This game, honestly, was just meant for 10v10 with all the 6v6 maps. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm having a lot more fun now that they added this into the game. For some reason, people are just, they're coming out of their shells. I guess maybe because they feel like they have more teammates and it feels a little bit more like a war zone instead of like, you know, a very quiet, tactical game like it feels in 6v6. Not much noise going on in 6v6, and the footsteps are so loud that you hear people stomping around everywhere. And 10v10, there's gunshots going off constantly. People are running around everywhere. Doors are slamming everywhere. There's a lot of sound to kind of mask your footsteps when you're stomping around as well, which kind of allows you to move a little bit quicker in situations. So maybe that's why players are actually being a little bit more aggressive in the 10v10s on these 6v6 design maps. But this changed the game for me. This absolutely changed Modern Warfare from my personal experience. If you are a person who really hates this game, mainly because of the main focus that the game is slow, footsteps are loud, it's hard to run and gun, and it's very campy. If those are your main reasons for why you do not like this game, and because of the intense 6v6, you know, skill-based matchmaking, if you want a little bit of a break, the 10v10, 10v10 for the 6v6 game, it's so confusing how to say it. But if you want to play this new 10 versus 10 player mode with the 6v6 maps, I would highly suggest it. I think you will probably get the most fun out of this game, and it'll probably encourage you to play this game a little bit more just because of how hectic it is and how much more action and gameplay. It actually feels like Call of Duty a little bit more. It actually feels like I can go on those nasty feeds. And it's not like running around like a headless chicken constantly. It's still about finding the better positioning and finding the better choke points so you can hold enemies down good. It's still all about that. It's just you actually see enemies. You don't go 10 minutes with only seeing 5 people the whole time. There's actually people on the battlefield that you will see. It's just nice. It's refreshing to actually have actual combat. You never see this in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So if you are actually down in the dumps with Call of Duty Modern Warfare at the moment, go play Gunrunner and go play, let me look at the name again, Ramazan. Here we go. I'll get them down one day. I'll get them one day. But if you want to try out these two maps with 10v10, I highly suggest it. I think you'll probably like it. But please, go ahead in the comment section and let me know personally if you guys have already tried out the 10v10. If you enjoy it, do you think it's a good addition? Do you think they should keep these style of maps in the 10v10 rotation? Or do you just think they should put all of the 6v6 maps into the 10v10 rotation as well? Because it looks like they're just working on making new 6v6 and new ground war maps. They haven't been really working on 10v10 maps, it looks like. So I wouldn't even really mind if they decide to put all the 6v6 maps into 10v10. Like, could you imagine Crash and Vacant in 10v10? It's awesome in COD 4, the original. So I can only imagine how cool it will be in Call of Duty Modern Warfare with all those players. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. If you hate it, you could always dislike it. If you're brand new to this channel and you enjoyed what you saw, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell notification button. Also, if you want to chat with me or see some behind the scenes clips, you can always follow me on Twitter at JbowenDaMan. And also, if you just want to catch me live streaming, I'm over on Twitch at JbowenDaMan as well. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.